Hey, happy OONSDAY, guys. So you ever come home and look around the corner and staring right back at you is a raccoon? What do you do? For me, I do not panic. I am curious, and they're curious. So we're both in the same place. And if they aren't growling at you, if their focus is on food, unless it's a beautiful dinner you just prepared on the table, I wouldn't freak out. I would enjoy the situation. Stay still. Watch it. Grab your phone and film it. I don't think it's a situation where you have to freak out and panic. Most raccoons are only interested in food. They're not interested in coming in and trying to kill you and eat you. That's not what they do. They're scavengers. They're very opportunistic animals. And in a city situation, something like this can happen very easily. You leave the door open, they smell something yummy inside, they might give it a go. Yeah, so if you really want them out of the house, I guess I'd start off by clapping your hands, see how they react to that. Be calm, but be assertive. Just no real sudden moves. I want to run at them because they might try and defend themselves and give a lunge right back at you. So my advice is just calmly but assertively start to push them out the way they came in. Now what you don't want is to freak them out where they're cornered in the house and then they're running around the house, and you may think it's neat to get your phone out when they're stuck in the bathroom and start filming them, but then they're going to get terrified. Best things you want to do then is open up all the doors in the house, back off, and let them find their way out. But as you can see, look, I'm brushing these guys. I know these guys. We go way back. I've known them since they're little babies. They are completely wild. They are not pets. But we've built a relationship over time. I trust them. They trust me. So for me, this is a special moment when they come inside because I really get to bond with them. I mean, I investigate their fur. I'm looking for ticks on them. Let's see this clump of fur. I'll pull that out, because it drives me nuts like on a cat or a dog. I want to take care of them. Kind of like they're pets, but they're not. They're completely wild. They're just my buddies, and this guy, he has his winter coat. I got to clean him off and help him look a little better so he looks attractive for the ladies. So that was Mr. Wiener. So Mr. Wiener is one of Moira's babies. Moira had 5 babies, and I really bonded with the majority of them. Silly Boy, Mr. Wiener, Cutie. Here's, I think Skittish is peeking in the door here. That's one of the babies, and then she had another female named Mishka. So I bonded with all of them really close when they were babies, and so when they come in the house, for me, it is fun time. I get out the cookies, I get out the peanuts. They make a little mess, but that's just between me and you. My wife doesn't need to know this at all. And I just want to hang out with them and have a good time. And for me, how amazing is this? Here's an animal, just a couple hours a night comes by to get a bite to eat, and you can build a friendship with. But yet for the remainder of the day, it is being completely wild. It is out there foraging, hunting, doing raccoon stuff. And because these guys are wild, I struggle with when to intervene medically. If one comes to me injured, I mean, so far I've just taken the position of, okay, I'm going to provide them extra food, and if they need to come in for a little protection, I'll do that. But I have not had to try and catch one to take it to a rehabilitator. And I even struggle with the idea of that because these are social animals, and a lot of them have family members that they come and go with, or they den up with. And to tear it away from its family for something that could be just a simple injury that they can heal up on their own, should we be intervening? And when is that line crossed enough where we should? So I don't have an answer on that. Also with the idea of giving your raccoon medicine. And by medicine, I mean something like dewormer. That's a monthly application. Now, I suppose with these real friendly ones that come into the house that I can interact with, and I know exactly who they are, like this is Mr. Wiener, I know that, I could keep track of how much I give him and what his dose would be. But I've had up to 33 raccoons that visit me, and there's just no way I can control the dosage for all 33, and I can't identify all 33 perfectly. And if you're tossing, let's say, a tortilla with peanut butter and medicine out there for a raccoon, he can grab it and run off with it, and another raccoon could come around, spook it out of him, and take it, and end up with a double dose. So then you're in a situation where you're overdosing wild animals, and you might be doing more harm than good. This is something I struggle with. If you do it yourself, that's your call, your decision. I would make sure that it's legal what you're doing first, and maybe speak with a wildlife rehabilitator on what their recommendation is. So I guess at the moment I'm hands-off medicating these guys, but I'm open to the idea in the future if I see my core group of friends suffering from something like bad parasite infections, I probably will intervene and try and medicate the ones I know I can do successfully because they hang close to me and I can keep track of what they eat and how they eat it. To each his own. Just think about the unintended consequences of what you're doing. Maybe do some extra research, and that's something I have to do too. I have a niece that's a veterinarian, and when she was in town, we talked about this. And she said if you were to have, dogs and cats around, there's an excellent chance they could catch parasites with this many raccoons showing up. And that could be very hard on a pet. So for pet owners, it might be something to consider more than for me. I no longer have pets. So as you can see, this is some of my older footage from last year. And it's winter time. I gotta come up with something for my channel. So I'm kind of digging through this and just rattling off on what's in my brain. And I'm curious what you guys enjoyed most with my channel last year. If you could throw me some feedback in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. What style of video do you like the most? Recently I did an ASMR style video. That's just watching them and hearing the sounds that they make without me talking. Do you like that? Do you like it when I create a challenge for them where they have to overcome an obstacle or reach into a hole and find a treat or a dog toy? Do you prefer when I put them in human-like situations where they're playing instruments or playing sports like soccer, cornhole, or basketball like I did last year? Or do you like viewer participation challenges where you get to come up with a recipe that my wife and I made and you see your recipe compete with my raccoons? So if you could think of last year, the videos that stick out in your mind that you would like to see more of in 2024, hey, throw me a comment and let me know. So some big news here at OONSDAY. Just a few days into the new year, I hit a large mile marker for my channel. I had crossed a couple thousand subscribers, but more importantly, I crossed 4,000 hours of views. And for YouTube, that qualifies you for getting ad revenue. You'll see those annoying advertisements that pop up. Viewers, creators like me, we get a cut of that advertisement revenue. And for a small channel like me, you compare it to other channels, 2,000 subscribers is pretty small. And the amount of hours of views I get is pretty small, so the revenue is incredibly small. But I figured out it might buy me about 1 bag of dog food a month at the rate I'm going right now. But I know my views are going to go up in the summertime when we get more raccoon action. But you gotta start somewhere, and I just want to thank you guys for sticking with me and watching my raccoons and giving me feedback and going along for the ride. I feel like I'm part of this big community, this whole new family of fellow animal feeders out there. And I'm always surprised by the amount of you guys out there that actually have a raccoon as a pet or had one in the past. And so, yeah, it's a big deal. I hit that mile marker, and now I'm starting to get revenue to help feed these guys. So, as in speaking of this raccoon community that I feel part of now, there's quite a few channels of raccoon feeders out there. And each is unique, and their furry friends are all very unique, but there's one that stands out in my mind that I just really enjoy myself. And she is such a positive force. She's always upbeat, so nice, so kind, so polite, and you just walk away with a smile after watching one of her videos. And I would really like to give a shout out to Raccoon Mimi down in Louisiana. I love all of her videos, and I really love her raccoons, and she's so sweet with them, and you can tell they're so polite, and I think they feed off of her positive energy. And so I hope to emulate someone like her as my channel goes forward. Obviously my channel is different. I put my raccoons through the paces and interact with them a little differently. But I would like to maintain a very positive, upbeat, and bright atmosphere like Raccoon Mimi does. So make sure you check her out. She is just wonderful.
I don't want that.
Well, at the moment, there's just no raccoon showing up by me. It's way too cold. Just below zero temperatures day after day, and got dumped with a huge amount of snow. So I'm just starting to let my imagination begin to run wild on what I want to do in 2024. And well, I'm a professional painter, so when I'm painting an apartment, I got all the time in the world to just let my mind run loose. And I was having this fun idea today of like those miniature cities they built for like the movie Godzilla, and that Godzilla would come smashing through that small Tokyo with its feet. What if I built a little town like that for the raccoons, and it just had the camera right up on their feet while they're crushing buildings and picking up little dolls and tossing them around? That might be fun. But this year I really want to think outside of the box with challenges and games for these guys. I want to connect with the possums better, get them to start eating out of my hand, and I want to give it another go with those skunks if they show up, get them to eat out of my hand. Oh, my heart races when I do that. But holy cow, I'm starting to feed skunks out of my hand. This is crazy. So I just want to go all in with the animals this year and be loose and be fun with them. I hope I bond with some of the new babies from this year. Fingers crossed that I can have a relationship like I do with these guys here, Silly Boy and Mr. Wiener and Cutie. They turned out wonderful, and I'm hoping I get the same with Cleopatra's babies, like Elton John and Klaus. So this spring, I am hoping to do another viewer food challenge where you guys come up with recipes to see what the raccoons like best. I really enjoyed that, but the time of year we did it is right when it was starting to get cold and not too many were showing up. I was thinking, wow, if we had that food competition when large numbers are showing up night after night, boy, that would just make it so much more competitive and so much more fun to watch. So let's start thinking up those recipes. We are going to do that in the springtime when big numbers are coming back, hungry, wanting to fill up their bellies after this long, cold winter. So, okay, guys, happy OONSDAY to everyone. I hope everyone is healthy and happy, and that the year's going all right for you. Okay, guys, take care. Oh, I love these guys. Look at them. They're just adorable.